When I tell people I'm Puerto Rican, I usually get one of three reactions. Someone smiles wide and yells me, "Huepa," like we're cousins. Others give me confused look like, wait, isn't that like part of America? And this is a classic. Do you visit the island a lot? But for me personally, Puerto Rican identity isn't only about geography. It's about what you feel when your abuela says bendición before you leave the house. It's what you hear when salsa or reggaeton echoes through your neighborhood. It's how you live between two cultures and still feel whole. So I was raised in Florida by Puerto Rican parents who made sure we held on to our traditions, whether it was eating pasteles Christmas or singing Preciosa by Mark Anthony every Saturday morning while we cleaned the house. But I also grew up and surrounded by American culture. That experience shaped me and is one I share with millions of others. And Puerto Rican culture is a unique blend of specifically three foundational influences. So to understand what Puerto Rican culture, you have to know first where it comes from. It's a fusion of Taino, Spanish, and African roots. According to the Smithsonian Latino Center, this mix shaped the language, food, music, and even religion of Puerto Rico. So to dig in deeper, the Tainos were the island's original indigenous people, peacefully and spiritually connected to the land. Then later came the Spanish through colonization in 1493, bringing Catholicism, European architecture, and Spanish language. But a lesser discussed truth is the forced migration of enslaved Africans whose rhythms, resilience, and religions, like Yoruba, shaped everything from bomba to music to cuisine. So, because of these overlapping legacies, Puerto Rican Spanish has a distinct accent and vocabulary. Many words have Taino or African roots, and religion is just as layered. While Catholicism remains dominant, you also find Protestant Christianity and elements of African spirituality that are still present in music and dance. To talk more about the food, our traditional foods like mofongo, lechon, arroz con gandules are products of this blend, and holidays such as Three Kings Day are just full of cultural symbolism and joy. However, being Puerto Rican in the mainland US can create a unique in between identity. Growing up Puerto Rican in Florida was different than it would have been on the island. I didn't wake up to roosters or live near the rainforest, but I woke up to Spanish prayers, Bad Bunny blasting in the car, and a strong sense of orgullo. I knew I was different from my classmates, but in the best way. Demographically, according to the Pew Research Center, there are over 5.8 million Puerto Ricans living on the mainland, compared to just the 3.2 million on the island. Florida, in particular, has become a cultural hub for Puerto Ricans, especially at their events like Hurricane Maria. But this brings many tensions to my identity. Being Puerto Rican here comes with many challenges. Some people question your authenticity if you weren't born on the island. Others assume if you're not American enough. It's like you're balancing two cultures every day, representing both, yet fully fitting into neither. Despite that, families like mine preserve our identity through traditions. My mom still makes coquito every Christmas. My uncles still debate politics in Spanish. And even though my Spanish isn't perfect, it connects me to my roots. Being Puerto Rican isn't just about being fluent or living on the island. It's about living the values and celebrating the culture wherever you are. Puerto Rican culture has also made a lasting impact on the world stage. For example, we can go into music. Reggaeton, which started in Puerto Rico in the 90s, is now a global genre. In 2020, Bad Bunny was the most streamed artist in the world on Spotify, not just in Latin America, but globally. Before him, artists like Mark Anthony and Daddy Yankee brought salsa, reggaeton, and Latin pop into the mainstream. They aren't just catchy songs, they're vessels for culture, language, and social messages. In politics, Puerto Ricans have also made significant strides in politics and advocacy, according to the Library of Congress. For example, Sonia Sotomayor, the first Latina Supreme Court Justice, is of Puerto Rican descent. Historical figures like Pedro Albizu Campos and Lolita Lebron fought for Puerto Rican autonomy and dignity. These leaders stood tall in the face of adversity, representing a people often caught in the political limbo. And despite not having full voting rights if you live on the island, Puerto Ricans have still proudly served in the U.S. military for over a century. We fight for a country that sometimes forgets about us, yet we never forget who we are. So, what exactly does it mean to be Puerto Rican, especially growing up in the States? It means knowing your roots, carrying your culture with pride, and sharing it with the world through music, food, language, and resiliency. We're not just from an island. We're from a history of survival, creativity, and love. Puerto Rican culture is more than just a flag or a hometown. It's a feeling. And whether you're on the island, in the Bronx, or here in Florida, you can feel it every time someone says, Huepa.